Colin Firth, the gentleman of cinema, Mr. Darcy himself, the epitome of British elegance, has won an Academy Award, a BAFTA, and the hearts of millions worldwide. At 64, he stands as one of the most respected actors of his generation. The world knew him as the perfect husband, married to Olivia Giugioli for over 2 decades, 2 beautiful sons, a love story that seemed unshakable. Then came 2018. A shocking revelation that made headlines across the globe. An affair, a stalker, accusations, public humiliation. The devastating truth that even Colin Firth, the man who embodied dignity and restraint on screen, couldn't escape the brutal messiness of real life. What few people know is the full story behind those headlines, the heartbreaking complexity of a marriage that survived infidelity, only to crumble years later anyway. Behind that trademark British reserve lies a story not glamorous, but brutal, a story of betrayal, forgiveness, and the ultimate failure of reconciliation. This is not the fairy tale romance we imagined. If Colin Firth has ever made you believe in quiet dignity, hit like as tribute to his resilience, this is the story of a man who built a perfect public image over 30 years, watched it shatter in a single scandal, and discovered that some wounds, even when forgiven, never truly heal. What happened behind closed doors will change everything you thought you knew about Colin Firth. September 10, 1960, Gratiot, Hampshire, England. Colin Andrew Firth was born not into poverty, but into instability of a different kind. His parents were academics, intellectuals. His father, David Firth, lectured in history. His mother, Shirley Jean, taught comparative religion. The family moved constantly. Nigeria, St. Louis, Missouri, back to England, then Canada. Colin attended multiple schools, never settled, never belonged. He was the outsider, the British kid in American schools, the awkward one who didn't fit. Acting became his escape, not because he dreamed of stardom, because on stage, he could finally be someone else, someone confident, someone who belonged. He studied at Drama Centre London, one of the most rigorous acting schools in the world. The training was brutal, method-based, emotionally exhausting. Colin nearly quit multiple times. His early career was marked not by celebration, but by struggle. Small theater roles, bit parts on television, auditions that led nowhere. He was 25 when he got his first significant role in 1984's Another Country, playing Tommy Judd opposite Rupert Everett. The critics noticed him, finally, but fame remained elusive. Colin worked steadily through the 1980s, never the lead, never the star, always the supporting player. He questioned whether he'd made the right choice, whether acting was worth the poverty, the rejection, the constant uncertainty. Then came 1995. Pride and Prejudice, the BBC miniseries that changed everything. Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy, the role that would define him forever. He was 35 years old, already feeling like his moment had passed. The wet shirt scene, emerging from a lake at Lime Park, became iconic. Women worldwide swooned. Suddenly, Colin Firth was a sex symbol, a romantic lead, a household name, but he was uncomfortable with the attention, the objectification. He was a serious actor, not a heartthrob. Still, the doors opened. 1996, The English Patient, a small but memorable role in a film that won 9 Academy Awards. 1997, he met Olivia Giugioli, an Italian film producer, on the set of the BBC drama Nostromo. Filming in Colombia. She was beautiful, sophisticated, creative. They married in 1997. Colin was 37. It seemed perfect. 2 sons followed, Luca in 2001 and Matteo in 2003. Colin's career continued ascending. Bridget Jones's Diary in 2001 earned him wider international recognition. The film grossed $282 million worldwide. He reprised the role in 2004's Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason, for a reported $3 million by 2009. Colin was cast in A Single Man, directed by Tom Ford. His performance as George Falconer, a grieving gay professor in 1960s Los Angeles, was devastating, raw, vulnerable. he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor. He didn't win, but the recognition positioned him for what came next. 2010, The King's Speech. Colin Firth as King George VI, struggling with a debilitating stammer while leading Britain through World War II. The film was shot for approximately $15 million. It earned $414 million worldwide. Colin won everything: the Academy Award, the BAFTA, the Golden Globe, the Screen Actors Guild Award. At 50 years old, he'd reached the pinnacle of his profession. His marriage appeared solid, his family life private but stable. Colin Firth was the gentleman, actor, dignified, respected, above scandal. The world saw perfection. The truth was different. What few people knew was that behind the elegant facade, the Firth marriage was fracturing. 2015, Colin and Livia separated briefly. They didn't announce it publicly, kept it quiet, worked on reconciliation. During that separation, Livia had an affair with Marco Brancaccia, an Italian journalist, a childhood friend. The affair was intense, emotional, short-lived. Colin and Livia reconciled in 2016. They decided to forgive, to rebuild. He loved her, loved his family, believed in second chances. Then came 2018. Marco Brancaccia began stalking Livia. Messages, emails, harassment. He accused Colin and Livia of trying to destroy his reputation, claimed they'd painted him as the villain. Livia reported him to Italian authorities in March 2018. The story became public. And with it, the shocking truth, the affair, the separation, the reconciliation. Everything Colin had tried to keep private was suddenly worldwide news. Headlines screamed, "Colin Firth's wife had affair during brief separation." The gentleman actor, the man who'd built a career on dignity and restraint, was exposed as a husband whose wife had betrayed him. Colin released a statement supporting Livia. A few years ago, Colin and Livia privately made the decision to separate. During that time, Livia briefly became involved with former friend Mr. Brancaccia. The Firths have since reunited, dignified, measured, classic Colin. But the humiliation was devastating, not just because of the affair, because of the publicness, the gossip, the judgment. Colin had always valued privacy, had kept his personal life sacred. Now it was tabloid fodder. Friends reported he was shaken, hurt, struggling to understand how something so private had become so public. Livia faced her own hell: death threats, online harassment, accusations of being ungrateful, unfaithful to a perfect husband. The stalking case against Brancaccia dragged through Italian courts. Colin stood by Livia publicly, defended her, supported her, but privately, the cracks had already formed. 2019 came and went. The Firths appeared together occasionally, smiled for cameras, but those who knew them saw the distance, the careful politeness, the absence of warmth. Then came December 2019. A quiet announcement: Colin Firth and Livia Jolie were separating. For good this time, Colin and Livia Firth have separated. They maintain a close friendship and remain united in their love for their children. After 22 years of marriage, after surviving the affair, after public forgiveness. It ended anyway. The heartbreaking truth: some betrayals can be forgiven, but never forgotten. Colin was 59 years old. Starting over, the divorce was finalized in 2020. No public drama, no mudslinging, just a quiet end to what had seemed like an eternal love. What people don't understand is the complexity. Colin forgave Livia's affair. Genuinely, he understood they'd been separated, understood human weakness, but forgiveness doesn't erase pain. The trust was broken. The image of their marriage, the thing they'd both protected so carefully, was shattered. And then the stalking, the publicity, the exposure. It made healing impossible. Every interview became about the affair. Every public appearance invited whispers. Colin couldn't escape it. Neither could Livia. The marriage became a monument to trauma rather than love. So they let it go. Today, at 64, Colin Firth lives quietly between London and Italy. He's in a relationship with BBC producer Maggie Cohn. 46. They've been together since 2021. It's different this time. Lower profile, More private. Colin learned his lesson about public romance. His net worth is estimated at $25 million. He works selectively now. Only projects that interest him. 2021, Supernova. Playing a man whose partner is losing himself to dementia. A quiet, devastating performance. 2023, The Secret Garden on television. Smaller projects. Less Hollywood. He spends time with his sons, Luca and Matteo, now 23 and 21. They split time between parents. Colin maintains a cordial relationship with Livia. They co-parent, attend events for their children together. No bitterness publicly, just acceptance. He's become involved in refugee advocacy, works with Refugee Council and UNHCR, speaks about immigration rights. The work matters to him, more than awards, more than fame. Colin has said in recent interviews, "I'm grateful for privacy now, for simplicity, for relationships that don't require performance." There's peace in his life, different than before, quieter. He's not trying to rebuild the perfect image, not trying to be Mr. Darcy in real life anymore, just trying to be Colin, flawed, human, real. The affair scandal changed him, made him less concerned with appearances, more concerned with authenticity. He rarely discusses the marriage or divorce. When asked, he's brief. "We had many beautiful years. We have two incredible sons. I'm grateful for that." No details, no blame, just dignity. It's very Colin Firth. Final emotional wrap at 64. Colin Firth stands as proof that even the most dignified among us face brutal, messy humanity, from Gracia to Hollywood, from Mr. Darcy to a divorced man starting over, from public perfection to private pain. Colin survived the affair, survived the scandal, survived the collapse of a 22-year marriage, and he did it with the same quiet dignity that made him a star. The lesson isn't that forgiveness saves everything. Sometimes it does, and single quotes t. The lesson is that grace matters, that how you handle devastation defines you more than the devastation itself. Colin could have been bitter, could have blamed, could have fought publicly. Instead, he chose dignity. If this story touched your heart, leave a tribute below. Share a moment when Colin Firth's quiet strength reminded you that class isn't about perfection. It's about how you carry yourself when everything falls apart. Colin Firth lost the fairy tale, but he kept himself, and at 64, that matters more than any perfect image ever could.